Hello, I'm Henry Raby and welcome to Vandal Factory, the podcast all about arts and activism. Normally I'd be joined by my lovely co-host, Natalie. Nat is currently off wrangling her PhD at the moment and I'm isolating. That's right, as you can probably tell from my raspy tones, I've got the old COVID again. It's still out there and it still sucks. So take care of yourselves out there, folks. Look after one another. This episode is a very special collaboration with Leeds Palestinian Film Festival and East Street Arts. They've worked together to bring Palestinian visual artist Taqi Spateen to the UK on a tour. Taqi creates these huge, beautiful murals on the side of buildings and walls all over the world, and we chatted to him as he was about to embark on the new challenge of painting the side of East Street Arts' building with a brand new mural. We also spoke to another Palestinian artist, Juman Quneis, who's currently studying film in Leeds. We're also joined by Trisha from the festival and John Wakeman, who is the artistic director of East Street Arts. Natalie popped back a week after these discussions to capture the thoughts and the reflections of the crowd at the glorious unveiling of this artwork, which sits on the side of the A64, a gift to everyone driving into Leeds. Before we get stuck into the interviews, we don't get any financial support for doing the Vandal Factory podcast. It really is a labour of love. So if you love what you hear, please share the podcast amongst your friends, share it on social media. It really does help. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook and X. Please leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts and please subscribe. It really does help. You can also listen to all the songs from the Vandal Factory podcast on a huge playlist on Spotify if you search for Vandal Factory playlist. Okay, that's enough for the admin. Let's crack on with the interviews. Off to East Street Arts.
We're here at East Street Arts and we are very excited that shortly we are going to be speaking to Taqi Spateen, who is a mural painter and artist extraordinaire who's come especially to Leeds from the West Bank. However, not second best. We've also, while we're waiting, have bumped into filmmaker extraordinaire, also Palestinian. Whereabouts from Palestine are you from?
I came from Ramallah.
Oh, from Ramallah, yeah. So this is Juman, and it's just you've only recently come to Leeds, is that right?
I have been here for 7 months. I'm a student in Met Film School. I study cinematography.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you've bumped into our fantastic host here, who's Trisha, and the Leeds Palestinian Film Festival co-directors, the gorgeous women are you all women? No, George isn't a woman.
George isn't a director,
but
right. We do have one man called Nat.
Oh, you've got to have one, I find. Okay, it's just, for diversity's sake. So we've got Trisha here as well, who's part of the Leeds Palestinian Film Festival, and you are, so you've met them, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
What happened? How did you meet them?
Accidentally, actually. I met women in black, and part of them are volunteer in film festival and Leeds Palestinian Film Festival. And I went to a screening of Israelism, and I met Trisha there, and we got to know each other. To be honest, at that time, I wanted just to find any opportunity to volunteer, and because I want to just to be away a little bit from school and speak English and fill my spare time. And that was like a gift from God. I met them because of many things, because it's the industry I'm working for. I'm studying cinematography, and I have produced many films in Palestine, but not feature films. That's why I'm here. And then I feel like it's my area. I could help because I'm Palestinian and I know about filmmaking, about cinema in general, and also I could help in social media and all of these things. So I feel like I'm in my best place in England.
Yeah. And Trisha described you as an angel. She
is the angel, actually, not me.
So can we go back to your origins? What was it that drew you to film as a medium to work in? What made you fall in love with it?
Yeah, I used to work as a journalist in Palestine, so when I started to produce films, they were documentary more than feature films. So I produced many films, many documentaries about people in Palestine, especially women. I'm very interested in women issues, especially things concerning human rights of women. And I focused that time on internal issues, not things concerning occupation more. I produced a film about journalists in Palestine, but I produced more about women issues and obstacles and restrictions on women in Palestine. I'm proud of having or producing these films because they were courageous. I highlighted on many things that, like taboos in Palestine. But I'm a good writer as well, and I would love to produce feature films about real people in Palestine. I would love to produce films, feature films based on true stories. Especially about my great friend Shireen Abu Akleh, the great journalist who was killed by Israeli soldiers. I would like to produce a film about her life, and that's why I came here, just to learn how to use the camera in perfect way, because I used to do like an anchor or producer, but not a camera woman. Or I would love to know and to come in this world of technique and things concerning cameras, lenses. It's new for me, but I'm happy to learn all of these things, and that's it. Yeah,
I think that's fantastic. I think to go back to what you were saying about not necessarily creating films about the occupation and focusing on internal struggles and feminism within the West Bank, I think that's so important because it's I've spent a little bit of time in Jenin in the West Bank with the Freedom Theatre, and certainly in my time there I always go on about this, but I just think it's always worth repeating. The thing I came away learning was that there are layers to occupation, and the top, is the military and about space, and then you can go into the culture, like the economic occupation. You can go into educational occupation. You can go into conservative, why that would then push people into clinging on to whatever they believe and pushing. We see it in this country as well, like you're going to get people going to extreme lengths when their basic safety is under threat all the time. Of course that's going to make you cling steadfastly onto something sturdy, which then is of course going to have, and it always is going to have, a knock-on effect on women and women's rights.
Exactly. Yeah.
So to focus on that and to give that voice and space, I just think it's a really important part of resistance and growth for Palestinian people to do that for themselves, rather than having old Johnny Whiteface over here coming over and being the liberated woman from the West, that nonsense and that it's not a stereotype, is it? That sort of
The saviour,
that rather than doing that. So tell me more about these films and what kind of issues you are highlighting.
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated, but I will try to tell you about it. Everything in Palestine is related to occupation. Everything, every single thing, and I'll tell you how. But that doesn't mean that Palestinians shouldn't be frank with themselves, courageous to highlight many problems that they could resolve without having any connection with the Israelis, with the occupation, such as certain phenomena in Palestine, like honor killing, for example. People are, influenced by violence. So who was influenced by violence, definitely he or she will reproduce that violence. That's why we have. I don't want to say that honor killing is caused by the occupation, but it has a relation. But whatever was the reason, as Palestinians, we have to defend these women. We have to highlight this problem. We have to discuss it and in public, And I'm very proud of saying that documentary I have done about honor killing, it was seen by the president of Palestine, and he has changed a little bit in the law, giving the right of men to kill their female relatives if they have a sexual relationship outside marriage. This is the article in the law that make killing easier for men. And that's why, I feel like this is an important thing for documentaries to do, because it was screened wherever, in many cities in Palestine, and people like decision makers as well, they attended that screening, and there was like, with the help of many feminists and women organizations as well. Of course, it's not only because the documentary. And then there was, like debate in Palestinian society. So I think that, the occupation has a big influence on Palestinians, very negative influence on men and women as well, especially everything concerning violence. Always we have roots, we have links, we have ties with that occupation. If you see like a man who is very violent with his kids or with his woman, definitely at the end of the day we find that he was tortured and in the jail, or badly treated on one checkpoint or something like this. That's why we cannot, but we have to be very courageous and to say that we have to stop this phenomena. That's it. I think that, and that's why producing documentaries like this and saying that, okay, Palestinians say always that the priority is for the occupation. I know that this is our priority, but under the occupation, we get married, we go to schools, we die, we go to hospitals. I mean, like all of these problems concerning these aspects of life, we have to highlight also, even if it's not under occupation. Yeah.
The women who are victims of honor killings could not wait for the occupation to end. And all women, I think, cannot wait for the first set of priorities to be passed through. And there's also that gender divide, isn't it, of seeing the occupation as a male problem, and the priority, that's the sort of big boys going out and doing the fighting, and then the women can come behind and have your needs met secondarily. So it sounds fantastic. What is the name of that particular film, and is there anywhere I can see it, please?
Yes, I will send you the link. It's on Vimeo, and its name is Sun's Victims. That means that these victims are obvious and people see them like they are under the sun, but they are victims. Yeah.
You say you've got more stories that you want to tell. You're here learning the art of filmmaking. Do you want to build on this story and do a sequel, or is it more, what's the next stories you want to tell?
Yeah, I said that I want to produce a film about Shireen Abu Akleh. This journalist is very important to highlight. And I think that now, these days, is the 3rd anniversary of her murdering. And this journalist is very distinguished for many things, actually. She's Palestinian, she's female, she's from Jerusalem, she's Christian, and she was killed, although and despite she had all things showing that she's a journalist. And the Israeli soldiers who killed her, he did that deliberately. I mean, like, he meant to kill her. And Shireen had the biggest, the largest, the most important funeral in the history of Palestine. And that's why, I don't want to say that women are, number 2 in the society. No, it's not that. Palestine is different than the Arab world. We have, we glorify women. People like women, and they they preferred Shireen on other men journalists. There are many men journalists who were killed by the Israelis, but none of them had that funerals such as Shireen. But why? Because Shireen was very professional. She was very professional to an extent that if you ask her boss, he would say, Walid al-Umari, he's also a friend, he would say that Shireen, if she has, a day where nothing happens in Palestine, she goes and asks and she goes to a marginalized area, interview women, children, marginalized people who are not highlighted in media in general, in Palestinian media as well. And that's why all of people who went to her funeral, somewhere they met Shireen, somewhere they have seen her reports, somewhere they listened to her. That's why I feel like this is a person who is a good example about the Palestinian woman who's resilient, and she used to live alone. Her family is in USA, and she was there, and she used to present everything in professional way. Even if she is Palestinian, she was very neutral, and to an extent that even the president of USA, he said that he's sad for his killing, and she has an American passport as well. But and she's my friend. I feel like she was very kind. Many poor people came after her killing, and they were crying, and people, her colleagues in the office where she used to work, they were asking, why these people know Shireen? They found out that she used to give poor people, give money from her salaries. So I think that we have to know about her. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing her story with us, but we look forward to this film that will go all over the world and spread her message across the world.
Yeah, I have talked with her only brother, and he's willing to cooperate with me and tell me more about her childhood, because I know her when she's woman, but now her childhood I don't know about her it's that much. Yeah.
What an incredible legacy, and a legacy that she's left behind, but also that you can continue that and continue her life and honouring her in that way. So we then bring you to Leeds, to sunny old Leeds. So what on earth, what was it that you said that you wanted to learn more about, the technicalities around filmmaking? How was that? What made you decide Leeds? I know it is famous for film and it has a history, but tell us about take me back to you're sitting in your home in Ramallah, and you're looking at your map maybe, and you're thinking, oh, that place in Yorkshire looks good. I've always fancied a Yorkshire pudding. Was it like that? And you thought,
it wasn't exactly like that. To be honest, although studying in UK is very expensive comparing to any other or any other country in Europe, but I like to come to UK. It's not my first time. I came here many times for conferences in Cambridge once, in Westminster once, and in other conferences, And then I like to come here, and I only searched about good schools, good filmmaking, good schools for filmmaking. I found Met Film School, which is the school I'm studying in, and it has a branch in London and in Leeds and in Berlin as well. So I like to be in Leeds because I have been in London before, and I think that knowing the country is better to go to another city other than the capital, and I know that London is not like very pure English city, and it's like international city. So
as opposed to Leeds, that's pure English, pure English.
There's none of that multiculturalism here. Thank you very much.
And I found out like it's an international city as well. But it's nice. I like it. I like
Do
seeing
you?
it. Yeah.
How's it been? You've been here for 7 months.
Yeah.
How have you found it? I think during what I imagine is
This is
one of the most difficult
Yeah.
times to be a Palestinian.
Yes, I don't want to make drama, but I
No,
I
there's,
do
there's
that.
a genocide happening.
It's good
I mean,
content if you make drama.
Yeah.
No,
There are many good points, of being here. I am obsessed in discovering cultures of other people other than Palestinians. I'm obsessed in doing this. That's why I traveled a lot of countries. I have visited a lot of countries. You can't imagine. And I like to be with people like, especially English people. And I met all nationalities except for English people at school. I have only one English classmate. No, but it's fine. It's nice. It's nice to be in Leeds. Really nice nature, nice city, and nice people as well. I have to mention that, to be honest. I'm impressed by the kindness of people in UK. Really, I don't know if it's a luck or they are really nice, but from the person who stamped my passport until now, all of people I met, all of them are very kind.
I'll tell you now, it's luck. It is luck. That's definitely, especially at passport control.
Where are these nice English people you've met? Because I've not.
They are talking to me.
Correct answer.
Yeah.
They see us going and they run in the opposite direction. That's what it is. Yeah, it's the Palestinian charm. You see, you draw nice people. You've got an open heart, so you draw people with big hearts towards you.
Really, it's nice. I would like to mention that because what happened in Palestine that made me really, I couldn't see the beauty anymore. Really, it's literally like this. I can't see the beauty. I traveled a lot, as I mentioned, and I like the nature of Europe in general because it's green, clean. Even the sun, when it shines, rare.
Occasionally.
Yes. It's bounced on buildings, on even the leaves of trees. I like that. I can see that in my eyes because I like photography. I like how to see things, but I really stopped seeing beauty at all, because of what's happening in Gaza. And it started 1 week after I came here, and it was really hard, even everything was new. Yeah, everything was new. The accommodation, the school, even the currency, and all of these things, it was very, very hard time.
And to be away from home.
Yes. And always worry about my family. My husband is there. I'm married, and he stayed there in Palestine because he has work. And then each time I hear the news, for example, or listen to the news, and I know that there's an Israeli incursion in Ramallah, I just imagine that they will, open their fire on randomly. They could kill any of my relatives, And my father lives alone in Bethlehem, and one night, I hear that they are throwing gas bombs on Beit Jala, where my father lives. And
does he live?
I stayed awake until the morning because I don't want to call him because maybe he's sleeping, but at the same time I couldn't sleep. What if he smells, the gas, and he's alone, he couldn't, ask help. And that's why every single day I have these things. Other thing is that I have a lot of friends in Gaza, and some of them were killed. And that was in the time where I have to submit my assignments. One day I got news about 4 friends who were killed in Gaza, and that was horrible. I spent 2 days just staring at the wall. I didn't submit my assignment, but luckily I have very, very nice and kind tutors. when I mentioned that, they said, the head of the school said, she's amazing, She said, I will apply everything for you. Don't do anything. So you have an extension. I didn't want to do that, but to do the extension, but I couldn't. That was the hardest thing happened to me. But to be honest, I have to tell that people in Gaza made me resilient. They give me the power. They give me the force just to stand and just to continue. Each time I feel like I will give up, just when I remember these premature babies who are fighting just to stay alive, these premature, I feel like I shouldn't be like this, I shouldn't be weak. And then I go to school. I didn't miss any session at school, any session. I was told that day that I'm the most dedicated student at school. Although, sometimes I used to go and listening to the news, I used to cry, and then I wipe my tears and go inside, and then I stop thinking of Gaza and all of these things and just focus on things. And then when I'm back, I go again just to live that. It was really hard, and I think that I was traumatized. And the school was very nice. They advised me to do like counseling, and I have done that, and it was very nice to do counseling with the school, and I think that I'm doing well. And I tried to help myself, and then I was very lucky to meet people like Teresha and other friends from film festival. Really, really, that's why it's not just like compliment to say that, but it helped me a lot, because not only because I found something to do, which is very good, but because I found that there are nice people around the world, because we as Palestinians, really, we have lost the hope of finding people who understand us, who understand what's going on. And when we find people like Teresha and the other ladies in film festival, or Women in Black, and all kinds of people who sympathize with Palestine, we feel like, there's hope, even if it's small, even if these people are still minority, but there is a hope to have people who could sympathize with us and support Palestine, support the right, support the justice, not Palestine because of Palestine. But that made me better, and I started to focus more, and I felt like I have many things to do for Palestine and for humanity in general, because it's something like a human issue. And that's it. This is my experience in Leeds.
Yeah, wow. I think Palestinians are made of something different, just something different that I'll find out what it is one day, but there's something going on. There's something in the water. And certainly olives. It's the olive oil. It's always the olive oil, isn't it? Yeah. The community that also, it's the same for us as well, in terms of the going to the marches in Leeds every week. And although it's disgusting that we've needed to do every single Saturday to protest for over 6 months, but the silver lining in that very, very dark cloud is the amount of people that I've met that are just have more humanity in their little finger than all the world's empires put together. And that little inch of humanity can keep you going in very dark times.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you so much for chatting to us. Is there a piece of music or sound or a song that you'd like us to weave into this interview that means something to you?
Yeah, I would like to play a song from a film called Selma. It's about the struggle of American Black. This song, they were singing it when they were demonstrating from Selma to Washington just to ask for the rights of electing. So it talks about war, but it talks about hope as well. That's why its name is Glory.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, glory. Oh, glory, glory. Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots we on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, glory. Oh, glory, glory. Now the war is not over, victory isn't won, but we'll fight on to the finish. And then when it's all done, we'll cry glory, oh glory, oh. We'll cry glory, oh glory, oh. Selma is now for every man, woman, and child. Even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, heroes, to become a hero. Facing the League of Justice, his power was the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald ego. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing, our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream we had an epiphany. Now we right the wrongs in history. No one can win a war individually. It take the wisdom of the elders and young people's energy. Welcome to the story we call victory. The coming of the Lord, my eyes have seen the glory. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, oh, when the war is won, when it's all said and done, we'll cry glory, oh glory, glory, hallelujah.
Hello, we are here in East Street Arts and we're joined by Taqi Spateen, who is a visual artist.
I'm a Palestinian. and making art, started in Palestine making art, and these art are taking me out of Palestine to introduce my people before introducing myself. So these changing me to be like a normal artist, to be an activist. It is not really easy to be an artist living in Palestine. So always I'm feeling like something missing when I'm doing my art in Palestine. So when I'm out of Palestine, it's kind of having a special time, more quiet for minds to doing what are living in our minds as an artist, Palestinian artists. What we are facing in Palestine, it is not even a conflict. We are occupied land and cultural and everything in Palestine are occupied, even our art and our heritage all go to be like on the can I say trash of the occupation, because even they taking this and occupied it, they cannot use it as well. Yeah, you know, it's like precious things. They're taking some piece of lands full of olives, a beautiful olives, like hundreds of year age, you know, and they cannot care about this olive. Anyone around the world, they will can't touch that. Like, yeah, it is a holy olives, holy tree. You know, it is not just only the olives. It's like a sample. They cut all the olives and they like built a new, like something stupid. Yeah, for explaining to themselves that they are the owner of the land. So they're building some sculpture, crazy sculptures. I'm going like many directions, so yeah, please catch me.
Where did you, at what point did you realize that you were an artist?
When I know that I'm a Palestinian, yeah, and I started to think what the mission that God gives me. And when I be exact what Palestinian means, scouts my mind, my what I'm talented in. So it's became like, okay, I'm an artist. What like no, it's like to draw or to paint or to find the beautiful things, like looking for the beauty around me or around my area. I started to figure out how these beauty things became destroyed or more ugly. Who is assaulted this thing? Yeah, which kind of harshment it's affected for our lands and our area, our scene. Yeah, it's not about the like the physics things. It's like everything, all the image, you know. So it's like an old fabric going to be like destroying, you know, crashing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So responsibilities of artists to restore this peace. Yeah, the vision and the image of Palestine. So when I'm here or somewhere else, sometime I'm going to fixing the main image of Palestine. Not all the image, like maybe the culture or the art sometime. And some part of Palestinian cause, which is interested for that people. So I'm catching this piece, what is like something foggy, so I'm moving the fog from this image, you know, to let them see. Yeah, I'm not doing like not adding something or only moving the fog. So like feel as a tools, yeah, like messenger or ambassador. I don't know which kind of word is right, but like something like that. Yeah.
I'm very excited. We can tell you, Henry and I only live 10 minutes up the road, and we drive in to go every time we go into the Leeds city centre, we'll drive past it. But particularly when we're going to the protests and we're going to organise and we're going to events, it always happens. So this is going to be something that we look at, several times a week. So it already feels like you've given us a gift just by being here and talking to us. But also, that's what I was imagining coming down, weren't you? That that wall is going to change, and it's going to be, our journey is going to change forever. That it's going to be part of our little universe is going to change.
Do you think about a piece of artwork? Do you remember them across your career, or are you like, once it's done, and you move on to the next piece of art?
Especially this mural, it have a long story to have this sketch in this wall exactly, because when I get ready to visit UK, and this is the first mural I was saying like, should I go? Should I not go? Should I go? Should I not go? Because I have a family and children. Is it worthy? Is it worthy to visit UK, to make some mural there, especially in these situations? And that was like, it's similar to the game of cutting the flower, love or not love, love or not love. But I didn't finish the flower. I just take it as a responsibility, as a mission, like as an important mission as a Palestinian. So, okay, goodbye, my children. I'm going to UK and I will come back soon. I have a mission. And this mural, it's created from that story. So now, should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? So this story is around the thing are not done for thinking, still thinking, like in a process. So there's like, I will put my children here in this mural, cutting this flower by like filling balloon with air, and they're flying, and everyone are cutting like battles. Yeah, battle. So it's not done, and no one can know if he is right or not, or this mission should be done later. And it's talking about every single person in this world should be making something, and it's not it's not important to be done by me. Maybe someone else will be continuing this. So the mural is talking about things are not done and leaving like headline for the people are coming later. Yeah, so it's a message, it's for thinking, it's speaking, like let's wall speaking, it's giving question for the people, and sometimes people can get answer for these questions. So sometimes murals making some dialogues, it's like my speech to these people, it's stuck on this wall, so it's always speaking, and maybe it gives some inspiration for other artists or other people to think good, and when I'm moving to the next, I'm not forgetting this, because if it is part of me, part of my life, so it is my memorial here, my stone, my touch, So if this wall be painted later, like maybe people here get bored from this wall, oh, let's paint it, or this will be like documenting somehow, you know.
We're going to throw eggs at it as we go past, aren't we? On our way.
We're going to paint Vandal Factory and tag it.
That's really the story behind this mural. I always say mural, which is the wrong word. Your English is better than mine. But it's introspective. It's about you and what you were going through in the moment when the time leading up to coming here. Is your work, do you find it always comes from an internal place, a place of you contemplating, or is it different?
Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes I am inspired by the local things, you know. Sometimes there's nothing inspirate me, like I don't have any inspiration, like in some places, so I give them like a small part of me. Yeah. So like I'm bringing something from my country, from Palestine, to stick it here in this wall, you know. And yes, so it's not just only training or show them my hyper realistic or how I'm mixing the color or how using the spray cans or like performing, you know. Yes, it is something precious, holy things.
You talk like a poet. Has anyone ever said that the way you talk,
Me?
Yeah.
Palestinian, man. They all talk like poets. It's not.
No, it is.
It's the olive oil. I've told you.
I think it's my poor English making me like this, because I have only like some words in English and I'm making installation, sometime like this and sometime like this. So I'm changing the words and it became like a new sentences.
That's how words work.
That's what words do, yeah.
So what's the meaning of vandal? From the vandalism?
Yeah.
Are you vandaling the world?
So it comes from the idea of being disruptive or messy or messing around with things.
Yeah.
So
not accepting things the way that they are.
But also factory, this idea that we create things, we produce things, we put things into the world. So it's a bit of a contrast of two things, of one being messy and spiky and mischievous.
Yeah,
and
vandal is an important part of the culture.
Okay.
Yeah, like my yeah.
Have you been called a vandal?
Yeah, I was arrested by occupation. They arrested me because I was painting on the separation wall. Yeah, they arrested me. Why are you? What are you doing here? You are crashing the wall. And said, where's the hammer? I don't have any hammer. Or like, no, you are writing something, blah 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 blah. And even they didn't know what I have done there. And in that time I didn't remember exactly what's happened, but I stayed there in the jail like only 5 hours.
And just so listeners know, and I'm assuming when you say the wall, you mean the wall. The wall that's dividing one part of Palestine from another.
When I said like if my paint, like making wrong is wrong to put it on the wall. So what we can say about your wall when you are like damage the land and separated the area for two parts, and you damage the identity and you damage everything, demolishing all the field of the olives. And he said, yeah, go out. You are out, go. Yeah, they released me in that time because they didn't like kind of these conversations because they didn't have enough speech. Like,
we always ask our guests if they would like a piece of music to play as part of the podcast. So I wonder if it could be any song in the world, but perhaps if there's something related to this mural, then that would be great.
Bella Ciao, the original, the old version, because when I was in Italy, in Borgo Universo, it's a festival, and last 2 years ago, it's a festival, every year they're doing that. So in that festival exactly, they gives like a gift for Palestine to cover everything, all the activities in this festival for Palestine. For example, they're planting olive tree in their lands and figs, and some plants, and they put like big stone written on it, carved on it like Palestine. So this is piece of land for Palestine, and they opened bazaars and blah blah blah. And I was there also painting. And they asked me to create something political, and to feel free to do whatever you want. And when I was painting, a number of people, they came to me, Italian people, holding big speaker and playing this music, Bella Ciao, the old version, and they went in like that was like big hall like that, and they dancing and singing, and they holding me in their shoulders, and that was a very, very nice party. That was touching me, and I like this music. Yeah.
So that's what we've got to compete with in Leeds. We've got to come back tomorrow with some big speakers. I don't know what the Leeds equivalent would be, but
I predict a riot by Kaiser Chiefs.
Oh no! Taqi, thank you so much for speaking to us. It's lovely to meet you.
Stamattina mi sono alzato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Stamattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invaso, oh partigiano, portami via, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire. E se io muoio da partigiano, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E se muoio da partigiano, tu mi devi seppellire, e seppellire lassù in montagna, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Seppellire lassù in montagna, sotto l'ombra di un bel fior. Tutte le genti che passeranno, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E le genti che passeranno ti diranno che bel fior, e questo è il fiore del partigiano, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Questo è il fiore del partigiano, morto per la libertà. Questo è il fiore del partigiano, morto per la libertà. Questo è il fiore del partigiano, morto per la libertà. Questo è il fiore.
So finally, we get to the headline act of the podcast, where we at last speak to
John Wakeman, who is the artistic director of East Street Arts here in Leeds. But you've mainly been up a ladder. Tell us what you've been up to today.
Tell us about the training you received yesterday. I was very excited to hear about this essential training. Trisha told me.
Oh yes. So so I had to go and get training yesterday to go up and down in a scissor lift. I am now fully iPathed up, and I can now legally take a scissor lift out on the footpath.
That would be at the top of my CV, next to makes an excellent omelette. That's amazing.
Yeah. So that was
to go up and down to go down. Is that?
It's say again.
Up to go up and down to go down in the lift.
Yes, it is. It is actually, but it's very confusing because you can also drive it backwards. So it's. So and yeah, it was. It
doesn't sound like you paid attention in this training.
It was probably. I was thinking about it, it's probably the most stressful thing I've had to do in a really, really long time. Because it was an exam. Was it? Yeah, it's an exam. You have to do a multiple choice exam. You have to do. So there's a first part. You do it blind without knowing anything about it. So you do the multiple choice, and then you go through 3 hours of PowerPoint, and then you have to do the multiple choice again.
You have to make sure no one's copying your answers.
Totally.
If you need to lose, put your hand up.
Yeah. And then you have to go out for the practical. But you get in it. I've never driven one of these things before. And you have to, it's indoors, and you have to come out of a set of cones, and then you have to steer into another set of cones, and then you have to go up to touch the roof of the thing, the shed, come back down, and then go through a set of cones into another set of cones, and go up, and then drive back while you're fully several meters in the air, and drive. I was so stressed. And
sorry.
Okay, so this is that's fine. That was the practice.
That's fine.
That's fine. No, that was the practice. It's like, but all the time it said, if you hit a cone, you failed.
That's a child.
You're home.
Yeah.
You failed. There isn't, and then it's kind of right. So I was expecting something that said, right, cones are in play. Off you go. It's like, crap. I've only just started doing this stuff.
And maybe more importantly, we should ask, why are you doing this training?
There can't be many artistic directors that do this, right? This must be a very unique job you've got.
I think it's partly because I've been meaning to do it for ages, because we do the murals around the place in Leeds, and it has got very frustrating for me at times because I want to go out and be more hands-on and drive the vehicles and be there and helping out. But it so happened this time Taqi's come, 2 other people who work with us, Rufus and Matt, have both got iPaths as well, and they couldn't be here this weekend. Taqi's only here for 7 days. So it's like, so I'm in, had to get this training, got it last minute, done, right, I'm out, and now I've got to go and drive the thing that's round the back of Convention House tomorrow to go and paint this wall, which is pretty huge. Actually.
It is a huge wall. Yeah. It's going to look absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And we just wanted to give you a shout out while we're here talking to our beautiful Palestinian artists, but I think it's always worth shouting out the leaders in cultural and artistic institutions that are not remaining silent, that are continuing to provide platforms or walls for Palestinian artists. And Henry and I could name, unfortunately, it's the majority of artistic organisations that are silent, and even worse, some have actively censored and cancelled Palestinian artists and events. So thank you for not doing that.
Well, I think I mean, for me and Karen was the other artistic director with me at East Street, and she left sort of 7 months ago. And we'd always been Karen's read absolutely tons about what's going on in Palestine. In 2016, we went to Tel Aviv and Bethlehem. No, actually, and Jerusalem, and then walked to Bethlehem from Jerusalem, going through the barrier and visiting the Waldorf Hotel, which is Banks's hotel next to the wall. And then we walked on into Bethlehem. And it was such a stark contrast to what it was like in Jerusalem, which is like, I don't know, it's 6 miles walk from Jerusalem to Bethlehem. And it was such a strange experience. And it freaked us out slightly, which is unfair to Bethlehem, but I think we were quite rattled anyway, because it's what you're doing is just walking through and passing through the barrier. What we came away with, and just the whole thing. And we've wanted to do something for so long, and me and Karen are not protesters. We don't go out on marches. We don't do that. It's just not our thing. And it's been, and it was as soon as the Leeds Palestinian Film Festival came to us and said, do you want to work on having Taqi come and paint something? It was like, yes, finally we could actually do something that we felt was really positive. And actually it's like, this is absolutely happening. And it's just biding our time to do that. So actually, completely the opposite to cancelling. It was like opening up immediately. Now we can do it, and we've done the same with working with the film festival, putting on a show a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, Humans of Palestine at the Otley Courthouse. So we've seen it's been such an important thing.
I was just reflecting that, when I was a teenager, like millions of others, I had the Banksy book of like Exit Through the Gift Shop, and within that I've seen those images of Banksy like painting in the West Bank, and I remember that being like one of those first like little seeds of like, there's something happening in this part of the world that is unfair, and there is injustice, and it's sort of in that format of a very well-known artist. I guess just what are your reflections of that power of huge murals on the side of buildings? What is it for you that helps capture imaginations or tell a story?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I suppose I'll have to go back a bit. Again, rewind another little bit. Having back in the 80s, looking at New York tube trains, graphic book, and thinking, oh my God, what's this? And then fast forward to, I think it was about 2009 or 8, we went to Belfast and saw the political murals there. And that was an absolute eye-opener. It was just like, oh, wow, this is something else. And the power of them and the conflict and that sense of people putting their mark on place. And that's what I was reflecting about here as I've been thinking about this and what Taqi's doing. And I think they're definitely about place. And I think when they work well, they're about place and they reflect place. But they're also about time. And I think that's where Taqi's is a timely piece and an important piece in that way. And I think for us, as we do murals, we're trying to now move into a place where actually they become much more integral to an issue, a political stance, or there's certainly something that is more than a piece of work that is to just decorate. I think that we have done some very beautiful pieces. There's a wonderful piece by Diogo, which is in Mabgate, which is stunning. But I think it's the way that they portray a sense of place. Those are the ones I've been to big. There's a New Arts. We went to see their festival in Stavanger a few years ago as well, which was amazing to see the murals across and the different types. So it's not always about scale; it's about size, and some of them are quite small and tiny and can be ground markings in a pavement. And I think that's quite special as well. And in Leeds, you see the tiny little tiled ones, which I saw one the other day, and I thought it was the first time I'd seen one in a while, and they're really quite nice and very intimate. So they work on all different scales, I think.
Well, I think everyone else has picked a song, John. So I think you need to tell us what piece of music would you. It doesn't have to be anything about what we've talked about. It could be just, you know what, people should listen to this banger.
Well, I was just listening earlier when you asked everyone else, and I do this. I think Gut Instinct. What is it? And it's the Selector and Too Much Pressure.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. What amazing music we're going to have in this episode.
We've got a playlist on Spotify where we just put all the songs, and I'm like, there are 3 excellent additions to. We just listened to that playlist over and over, and now I'm going to be having some Italian anti-fascist music, a spiritual, and a two-tone banger.
Yes, absolutely. I will hunt that list out, and I will be listening to it.
You can save and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been wonderful to be here.
Too much pressure.
So imagine someone who can't see it at all.
Okay.
Can you describe it to them?
Okay. So it is two siblings together, and they're playing with a dandelion and a balloon, and they're testing if and one of them is flying and the other one is on the ground blowing a balloon, and there's some very nice details on them, and they are very, and they look like they're playing very happily together.
Beautiful. And what kind of colours can you see?
I can see some blue on the boy's jacket. I can see some blue on the boy's jacket, some green on his balloon, and for the girl, she has a nice pink, dark blue and white dress with an orange balloon. Yeah.
Amazing. And what does this mural make you think of?
It makes me think of my childhood when I get to play with my siblings.
Yeah, lovely. And how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel like happy to remember all my memories.
It's a fantastic mural that shows the resilience of the Palestinians. I think there's so much beauty in it. It's absolutely fantastic to see Taqi's ability to capture his kids and to capture his dreams as well. It's a mural of freedom and hope, and also it's about sharing like beautiful meanings, which I believe is just a beautiful form of resistance.
Hello, so I'm here with some familiar voices that regular listeners will know. We have Shaima and Fozia, and we are standing in front of the completed, incredible mural. I always get that word wrong. I always say mural. Mural. Yeah, Muriel's like an old grandma name, isn't it? It is absolutely incredible. Please, Shaima and Fozia, can you tell me what can you see and what does it make you think of?
As a Palestinian, what I can see in this picture, I can see hope. And as Taqi said, that he drew his two children, and that make me think about my nephew and my nieces back home in Gaza. And I hope one day they can come and see this picture, and I can tell them about the hope that we saw in this picture. All I can see is like a free Palestine soon, inshallah, and end for the war, end for the genocide, and maybe I can get my family one day to visit and see this picture with me, inshallah, and take lots of pictures near the mural in here.
Yeah, beautiful, inshallah. I hope that too. Fozia, how about you? What can you see?
When I looked at this image, I was literally captivated by it. In fact, we drove past it the other day, my husband and I said to my husband, that's Taqi's artwork. And my husband was like, are you sure? And I was like, it's got to be his artwork. And it's absolutely amazing. And I was talking to my friend Shaima, and I was saying, I wonder whether that boy actually resembles Taqi. Is that Taqi himself? So I was quite mesmerised by when he said that the children in the picture are his children. I did actually get quite emotional about it as well, because especially when he said that his children can't be here, but he's put them there for him, which is just breathtaking, definitely breathtaking. But I'm just so glad that I've been able to see his artwork, meet him in person, and see everybody else that is literally in awe of his work.
I just want to add one more thing about Taqi, because I went on Wednesday for the Leeds University to see the encampment, and he went to do his another like piece of art, and he did the piece of art like it says in Arabic, لست محزوما ما دمت تقاوم, so you are not defeated as long as you resist. And this is my what am I going to call it? Well, this is like my code for my motto for life now. And as I said before, like we don't see like people from the West Bank as you are from Gaza. You don't see people. And when I saw Taqi on Saturday, I was like, yeah, it's nice to see someone who's Palestinian from the West Bank and who's very talented. Yeah, thank you.
I think cultural and art events like this are just so essential because in the context of what they're trying to do in Palestine is wipe out a culture and actively deny that it ever existed. And I think things like this, anything that we can put up in our cities in the UK, just show that that memory of the Palestinian culture will never go away no matter what happens in that region. It's poignant. It's sad on the surface, but I think ultimately it reads as hopeful. It reads as, it's Taqi's actual children, and their hope of liberation, I think, really comes through in the piece. It's looking upwards to hopefully a brighter future, and I think it inspires me to try and help build that and do everything I can.
You know what, Alec, I just arrived at 2:30 from Saudi Arabia. I
Oh,
had
really?
a sleepless night, 2 long flights. But then I just wanted to come here because Juman sent me the video advertising this event and I didn't want to miss it.
Oh, fantastic.
So that was really inspirational. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Beautiful.
You're welcome.
Good, yeah.
I like all the time I like to make something alive, alive, not to be just stone, alive, and you can hear.
Yeah.
Or you can follow.
It's lifting, it's moving.
Yeah, it's full of now. Yeah, it's full of now.
really
You can
is.
read, you can put your dialogue, your own dialogue on this mural.
I'm thinking actually of telling a story about this one, or at least to put my own interpretation of it.
I think
what
that's
does the petals mean? Balloons and things like that.
Yeah.
So I might get my head around
The petals, it should be on the flower.
Yeah.
And it should be going on to have the seed.
Yes.
When it falls down, it's a good time for having the seed. The seed will be sharing to have a new flowers. But these are done by human, So every single petals, it's like a wish or a human touch. Yeah, the daisy game, love, no love, love, no love. So if the boy take one, the girl will take another one, but they cannot see who are coming to take the others, the rest. So it's our mission. You bought something and you will leave somewhere, and someone else will continue.
Your path.
So this kind of mural is infinity.
Yeah. Yes, perpetual.
Yes.
Keeping going. That's interesting because I've had the reason we're all smiling and chatting is because actually a lot of us know each other because we've marched every week with each other, but we don't often have a chance just to relax and have a conversation with each other. So we feel like we have these tight bonds, but we don't know what your job is, what your family is. We don't know anything about each other. So it's lovely to have these conversations.
This is the real mission that we have in this world.
To connect with each other.
To see the result, the success, and all the results. It's mean we can relax now to see our success.
And a lot of us have been talking about actually a change of role or a change in the season. I think when it's springtime here, there's a kind of refreshing, there's a change, and I think also this also means when we've created a movement, different people can take different roles. Some people can lead, but you can't be at the front all the time. You can't be there. You'll exhaust yourself. But if you've got a movement, you can be at the front, you can be at the back, you can take time for different priorities, and therefore we all keep going. But we're all going together at the same time, I hope.
Inshallah.
How's your time been here?
Very quick time.
Yeah, you've been very
and
busy.
it's for me and John, maybe we here since month because we done a lot of things and many process. Yeah.
A lot of preparation.
A lot of things. And also I was preparing for the next mural here also.
Yeah.
So going there to be ready for climbing the wall.
Yes. Yeah, wow. And the next thing, you're keeping on moving.
Things should be managements like this.
Yeah. Good.
For having everything be done in a good way.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Yeah.
I like the perfection.
Good.
Perfection. Yes.
Good.
I like
Good.
perfection.
So you've had a good time.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you. You're going to sing a song?
Sing a song.
Yeah.
So we will add the song that I mentioned.
Yes.
La 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 la.
I promise.
Yes,
it's in
please.
there. It's in there.
And
We've already done it.
yes, it's really like for me, it is a piece of art. Other pieces that I have to do in my journeys to have other piece for carrying it with me to my country, to Palestine. The friendships.
It's a friendship.
Yes.
What's friendship in Arabic? Sadaq. I
That's
knew that.
Sadaqa.
Sadaqa.
So I had a lot of friends here, real friends. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what we like.
We saying the friend of the salt and the revolution. Yeah, the salt and
Salt and revolution.
the salt and the revolution. Salt and revolution mean صديق الملح والثورة.
Say it slower.
صديق الملح والثورة.
Friend in revolution and friend in salt. Does that mean you eat together?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you share salt.
We eat together and we protest together.
Yes.
Okay.
So we all did that.
Yeah, lovely. Lovely.
So people of Leeds are friends of salt and revolution.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Is it good?
Very good.
Great.